Okay, now let's talk about memory. So for this video, we're going to keep it on the simple side of memory. So your first option is to use window buffer memory, which is, as you can see right here, it says easiest. So in the window buffer memory, we can see that we have a couple options. The first one is a session ID, where in this case, it's just going to be looking for a session ID directly from the connected chat trigger, which in here is just the N8N sort of on chat message receive trigger. If you click in here, we can see that we have a session ID. This is what it looks like. And this is just kind of like, obviously helps keep track of every individual sort of interaction, I guess you would call it. So this is going to be dynamically filling in because it's connected with that referencing by JSON. And then we have a context window length of 5. So that's how many interactions the model is going to receive as context. So, like let's say we're to come in here and say, my name is Nate. It's going to say something to us. How can I assist you? And then we say, what is my name? So it remembers our name is Nate because of the session ID. Your name is Nate. How can I help you further? As you can see in the logs, the first thing it's going to do is hit the window buffer memory. Then it uses its brain to respond to us. And then it uses the window buffer memory again to update that conversation. So that's how that works. And if we were to remove this, now let's start another chat. What is my name? I'm sorry, but I don't know your name. How can I assist you today? Because we got rid of that chat trigger. So that's what the memory does. And so if you were trying to talk to your agent and saying like, hey, what does my calendar look like for tomorrow? And then it will pull back your calendar for tomorrow. And then you said, what about on Saturday? It would be able to know we were just talking about calendar. Let me grab it, the calendar for Saturday, rather than saying, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about for Saturday. So that, right? But let's say we have a different mode of input. How do we get it to connect to this window buffer memory that's hosted within N8N compared to, some of these other options like Postgres, Motorhead, Redis? These are being stored not within N8N, obviously. So stores in N8N memory, no credentials required, but all of these you would have to log in and verify. And then it's going to be stored in a different server. So, in case if N8N's down, you'd have sort of like a place to go see your chat history. That's maybe why you'd want to use these. And they can also be just different the way you access them. And it could even store more. But that's sort of the difference here. So window buffer memory, though, is easy and quick to set up. How do I get this thing to go away? But let's say we didn't want to use this as a trigger. We wanted to use something like Telegram, just because I've done that a lot in my videos. We want to trigger, not an action. So let's say on message. We've got our Telegram account connected, trigger on message. And let's say we're testing the steps. So let me pull up Telegram on my phone real quick. We're saying, hey there. So this is what comes back in Telegram. And when you're looking through most other message triggers, it could be Slack, it could be email, it could be whatever you want to integrate your agent to. You're going to get stuff back like, thread ID, message ID, chat ID, all this kind of stuff. In this case, right now we have like a from ID and a chat ID, and these are actually the same value. So that's kind of what we're looking for to reference to this Telegram node. Or sorry, that's what we're going to reference to the window buffer memory node to say like, this is what you should be looking for as the ID of these interactions. And that's why it's going to store that in here so it remembers it. So right here, connect to chat trigger node. We don't want to do that. We're going to define below. We need to put in a key. So this is going to be an expression. I guess technically this references like a Telegram channel. So like a 1DM channel or a phone number. So we could, theoretically put this in here as a fixed value and it should work. So, once again, if I hit test workflow and I said, my name is Nate, no prompt specified. Okay, we also have to do that in here. So in the actual text that's being fed in, this time we're definitely going to do an expression, and then we're just going to drag in the actual text coming from Telegram. So now we'll run this again. Now it's understanding, hello? Now we're going to run it again. So it got put in the window buffer memory, which as you can see, my name is Nate. Hello, Nate. How can I assist you? Let's go to this chat real quick. and then we say, and so obviously this doesn't respond. I'm just using Telegram on my phone. It's not going to respond to me because we haven't set that up. But now if I said test workflow, what's my name? Just sent that off in Telegram. We're going to get the output of your name is Nate. How can I help you today? So this was just to show you this is working. The session ID is working as a fixed number just because this is referencing a fixed channel that's always going to work. But probably best practice, you're going to throw this in as an expression. So if we went to our schema and we went to, why are we only getting, okay, never mind. So we're in schema, and what we're going to do is type in two curly braces, and now we're going to look for an earlier node, which would be our Telegram trigger. So we have that Telegram trigger, and then if we put a period, we can see like what is sort of the syntax to come through. So we're going to go to item.json.message.chat.id. So now we're getting that chat ID back, as you can see. And it's not like I actually knew that. I was just kind of following the pattern. And as you can see, coming through in here, we have Telegram triggers a node, and then we were able to get to .message, and then from there we got to .chat, and then from there we got to .id. So that was kind of just playing around with it, and also just like having done referencing things many times. Don't think that you have to like memorize these sort of schemas of how to get to where, but that's how that one works. And then also just to show you, like, this is how you, what's the word I'm looking for? You want to send the text message back in that same channel. It's going to be that exact same chat ID. And here's a way where you can actually be able to pull it. So typically when you're in schema, you should be able to see like the past nodes that have run and how you can grab them. And so right here we have the chat ID. And I don't know if you guys can see my mouse because I'm on my laptop right now, but chat ID is right here. So we would drag that into chat ID. We could just say hello, and then I hit test step. We get the success message. This is the name of the channel, which is Nate Herc bot, and then we have the text, which was hello, and then as you can see, I got that text. You probably can't really see, but I got that text back in Telegram that said hello. So just a quick lesson on memory. We can get into more topics about memory as far as like how do you set up the Postgres and how do you do different types of memory. But window buffer memory is super easy to set up, and it's going to be helpful, especially for if you're just doing some stuff like testing before you want to actually create full functioning workflow. So that's how it works.